Right.
His work, or what do I need, whatever. So I found some instructional assistant positions open. I applied. I got invited for an interview, one school, another school. And then during one of the interviews, the principal says, you know what, I think you'd be perfect for ESL. And I said,
Wow. Okay.
oh, okay. So she sent me up to the EL coordinator who was interviewing right then. And that was it. It was something as if it landed, and I never looked back.
Wow.
Like you said, it shows me.
It
So,
shows you, yeah.
over time, I was like, I can still feel those kids. I can still feel it.
All right, everyone. We are super grateful to have Miss Ieva Grauslys, and her name is spelled Ieva. So when you see that, you're going to automatically think a different sound, but it's Ieva Grauslys, and she's from the great state of New Hampshire. I'm very grateful. She's our first featured guest from that great state here in the United States. And Yeva wears so many different hats. Yeva is an ELL teacher. She's a program coordinator. She's the founder and CEO of her own business called Simply Yeva ESL. She's an instructional coach. She's a consultant. She's an instructional designer. She's a podcaster. Yay, another podcaster. She's also a course creator, a trainer, and a speaker. So I am so grateful that she took the time out of her obviously very busy schedule to come on the My K12 Career show and share her story, her journey with our viewers and our listeners. So Yeva, thank you so much for coming on the show. What's going on in your life and your K12 career right now?
Well, thank you so much for having me over here and for inviting me. And a lot is going on in my life, as always. So I am an ELL teacher by day.
Okay.
And I work with middle and high school English learners, and I love my students, and I love what I do. And I also have two other colleagues that I work with. So I am the coordinator of the program. So it's kind of like a small town, New Hampshire type of teacher coordinator role. Sometimes gets challenging, but most of the time I feel like I'm waking up every morning and I love what I do. So
it's awesome.
And then the other side of it is because of my passion. I have to, whoever talks to me, I have to tell them. So I started my website, Simply Yeva ESL, quite a few years ago. And it's been slowly evolving into all kinds of directions. So at first, I started just writing a blog, and then I offered some help for ELL teachers, and I have a lot of stuff that I want, because a lot of teachers don't have the resources. So I created some resources, the curriculum, and then I'm moving into, and I want to reach so many more teachers, because I feel like all teachers are teachers of language, and I want to spread that message to all of us, and especially those in districts that maybe don't have the support or don't know where to start. So I think that's my newest trajectory, to work not only with ESL teachers, but also regular education teachers, and give them a hand and simplify reaching those students, even if it's just one student in the class, because I see the potential. And I see the beauty and the intellectual riches that they bring to us. So we just want to give them the tools.
That's awesome. Yeah, you made a profound statement there. You said all teachers are teachers of language. What do you mean by that?
So I think we are all, like, if somebody comes to your class and they don't speak English, right?
Right.
The natural reaction is like, oh my gosh, how am I going to help the student?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? How am I going to teach? I have to teach all of this curriculum and everything. I'm not a language teacher. That's like the prevalent thing.
Yeah.
So I do have some ideas. We all teach, like we are communicating using language, right?
Right.
I go to math class, there's math language.
Yes, that's real.
Science class, that's science language, and social studies is the same. Each of those subjects, they use specific vocabulary, specific ways of expressing themselves. Like a metaphor in the language arts class, might not be used in the math class, which uses like a graphing calculator, right? But all teachers who are experts in what they're teaching already have the tools to share the language with the students, the language that they need. It gets a little trickier when you have to, when somebody really doesn't speak English. So you have to have some of the tools to bring not only the specific vocabulary, but also like give them the scaffolds and everything. But that is what I do when I work with teachers. I give them the tools, and my goal is to empower them to feel that they are capable to reach all of the students in the classroom, and that they should be comfortable teaching language, not the grammar, but the language that they are presenting in the classroom.
That's fair. I like that. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go back to the beginning. And when I say the beginning, not when you was born, but let's go back to, how you got into this great profession called K-12 education. Can you share with us, was it a situation where you always wanted to be a teacher? Or, I always like to say that I didn't choose K-12 education. K-12 education chose me in my situation. So what is your situation?
So I could start way, way back. And I'll start with a blanket statement that I never thought I was going to be a teacher. I wanted to be a doctor. Okay.
That's fair.
I also didn't know, chemistry and I were not friends, and I decided that I'll do something else.
Yeah.
But way before everything started, and I think it's funny to see how life leads you, and only now do I see the patterns. When I was, I told you before we hit record that English is not my first language. My first language is Lithuanian. And I started English in the 5th grade, and it was like so easy. And it was like my favorite subject of all. So,
wow.
And the teachers probably saw the potential, because when I was in the 9th or 10th grade, they said, there's this competition, English language competition. It was 1992 or something. Like it was like right after the crash of the Soviet Union. Lithuania was like trying to recover, and it was the first competition of its kind, right? So like if you take the TOEFL test, or like the TOEFL test, I think it was like listening, speaking, reading, and writing, you might have a chance to go on an exchange program. And I'm all right, okay, sure. There's only 15 people in the country. You can do this, whatever. So yes, I go through it. I still remember flashbacks. It was difficult. And then I came back home and I said, I'm never doing this again. I'm good. I forgot. And 2 months later, I get a call. It said, you're going to America.
Wow.
What? Anyway, I ended up winning 6 months in America. I get deposited in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay. Nice place to be.
Nice place to be, but I think the culture shock was so profound, because where I came from, to like it was just too different. So it was a good experience. I learned a lot. It was hard to make friends, very hard to make friends. It was like there were a lot of things that I actually see my students go through right now.
What grade were you in?
I was in 10th grade. 10th
okay. Grade. So 15 years old, maybe?
Yeah, there was no social media, nothing. So, you either letters or you like call mom once a month,
Wow.
have money. So, so anyway, after that, I do have to say, I said, America is nice. I'm never coming back. It's great. But, so I went back to Lithuania. Everything was amazing. I ended up studying English, my love, and literature. And living my life until I met my husband, who came from America to study Lithuanian language at the university. Okay. And, story short, I'm here. And that's
awesome.
So I ended up, I did work as a translator when I lived in Lithuania. But when I moved here, and after, we had our son, I said, I want to kind of like get into the groove and see how I can use my degree. Let me try a school. I had no system. When you come to another country, like you have no idea what is work or what do I need, whatever. So I found some instructional assistant positions open. I applied. I got invited for an interview, one school, another school. And then during one of the interviews, the principal says, you know what, I think you'd be perfect for ESL. And I said,
okay.
Oh, okay. So she sent me up to the EL coordinator who was interviewing right then. And that was it. It was something as if it landed. And I never looked back.
Wow.
Like you said, it chose me. Over time, I was like, I can still feel those kids. I can still feel it because I can relate to them on such a level that I don't even know how to explain, because I see all these teenagers that come in and they have so much to offer, but they're so lost,
Yeah.
Because I was an exchange student, I didn't have the support because, of the resources and stuff, you're supposed to know English, and I knew English, but I couldn't understand anything.
Yeah. No, that's real. I mean, it's one thing to know a language. It's another thing to know the culture of that language, right?
Oh, and that is the hugest thing.
Yeah.
So I've been, so I went from instructional assistant, I did my certification, and I liked it so much. I completed my master's degree.
Nice.
One fell swoop. So and then I just kept growing and growing, and I think it's just boundless. It really is boundless to me, and I want to not only serve my students, but also like I told you earlier, I want to help everyone understand what it is to learn a language and what it is to communicate and to be successful in it.
Love it. I love your big picture mindset too. You're in New Hampshire, you're in a small school district. New Hampshire itself, the state itself is one of the smallest in the country, right? But you're not letting that limit you, right? It's like, hey, I'm thinking big picture. I was born in an entirely different country on an entirely different continent, but I'm thinking big picture. And that's a good segue into your business, because truthfully, what you're doing with your business right now is clearly needed by all teachers. And where's your business now? And where do you see your business in 5 years?
So right now, I'm kind of starting a new path into expanding to reach more teachers.
Okay.
My hope is to be able to travel to schools and give them my framework of reaching English learners in the regular education classroom. And I'm not talking, I know that there are schools that are large districts, okay?
Sure.
And the large districts, they have their own systems and processes. And more large districts, I mean, with large populations of English learners, in the thousands. So the operation is a little bit different, right? I'm talking about the districts. I get so many requests for professional development or for consultations from schools that really are not sure how to go about it, or teachers just starting out, like they became ESL teacher, or they are a classroom teacher now. How do they help? So I am hoping that I would be able to travel, speak, provide hands-on practical advice. To me, teaching has to be not theory. It has to be practical. I give you the framework, you adapt it to your own situation. So like I'm seeing it growing in that direction, and I'm hoping that in 5 years, more people will know simply Yeva, and the method of every teacher is a teacher of language, right?
I love that. You need to coin that. Every teacher is a teacher of language. That's powerful. I really agree with you on that. And the fact that I'm in a marriage where my wife is from another continent and speaks another language, I realize the importance of that, obviously, because when she came to the United States, she, unlike yourself, was an adult. She was 34 years of age. And, learning a new language at that age is a lot more difficult than learning it at 10 or 15, And so It has been a struggle for her, but it's funny because I feel like education has found her as well, and she's a teacher assistant right now herself, and yeah, she's loving it. She was a nurse by trade in her country, and she loved that profession, but I think she really is like a fish in water and has definitely found her calling with teaching. And she works with special needs students, so she really enjoys that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So in terms of Simply Yeva, I mean, are you doing any of that now? Do you get a chance to go visit other school districts? I know it's kind of tough, right? Like when you already work for a district, like how does that look? Is that something where you provide more training through mediums like Zoom, or how does that look?
So I do have an annual event right now, and that is in the summertime. It's called the Confident ESL Teacher Summit.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is in August, every August, I invite a lot of guests, and we have specific topics that we cover for beginning of the school year and for the lesson planning, like ESL, all kinds of like related things. Typically, people can book a consultation with me. And also, I have some free trainings that I can share with your listeners.
Okay.
One in particular, free training, and then they can book a consultation with me and see if we are the right fit, to work together. But
100, yeah.
this point, if it's around here, I would travel. Otherwise, I would do Zoom. And then, like I said, growth, it's not always linear. So I will always adapt to the people, and I will see where that takes us. So
That's awesome.
My big picture probably requires bigger sacrifices in a way, right? So
that's true. I mean, and the willingness and flexibility to pivot, right? Like you said, as you're going down this road, it's not a straight line, and there might be some detours along the way, and a left turn and then a right turn, and then you're going straight. Like you have to be willing to do that. I've seen that with my own organization as well. So yeah. And one thing I want to share with you is maybe start doing what you want to do on a medium like LinkedIn is you want to present yourself as the authority figure in whatever space you are. So maybe do an ESL tip of the day every day. You know what I mean? Like, and then
I do, remember we talked, I have a podcast too. So I mean,
okay.
Right. So I have a podcast
Mm-hmm.
that comes out every Tuesday. It's the ESL Teaching Podcast. And
Okay.
so I actually haven't utilized LinkedIn for that. And you inspired me. I looked at you and I'm like, I can do this.
100. You can.
Yeah, because I'm sharing it on Facebook and on Instagram. Like LinkedIn is the target audience. LinkedIn
100%.
Teachers. So I think that is something that's going to be my next way, and then people can find out about me that way. Go to my website
Right.
and listen to the free audio training, and then book the free consult, whatever people need. But like I said, it's just like inspiration from educators like you.
Sure.
I think that's how we all like move. Keep going. We work
Absolutely.
together because we all have so much to offer.
No, I totally agree with you. And hey, whatever I can do to help, I will definitely help you with that. I mean, I'll help you with, setting up your show. Like I do this show in my spare bedroom on Zoom. So, you know what I mean? So, and it's grew from just me and, sending it to my wife and mother. So an audience of 2. To an audience of over 7,000. So it can happen overnight, literally. You just got to get it out there and hit record, right? And so, yeah, whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to help. But I'm really grateful that you came on the show. Like any information related to how you help other districts, how you help individual schools, how you help individual teachers, we'll definitely put all of that information in the show notes. And yeah, we're super grateful that you came on the show today. But before you leave, can you please just share with our viewers and our listeners some parting words of wisdom? Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
So I just wanted to wish everybody to have an open heart and an open mind whenever you have a new English learner or an English learner that you have had for a while. Language is not a linear process. It takes years. You can't buy it at Walmart. It is something that requires fostering and a little love. So I am here to help if you have any questions, but open mind and open heart are the biggest assets that you can bring in working with those multilingual learners.
Right.
And, if you want to reach out, you can go to my website. It's simplyyeva.com, and I will share the link with you because my name is spelled simply Ieva. And I also wanted to share the link to my free audio training that is
absolutely
brand new. It literally, I recorded it last week. It's brand new. Okay. So I am super excited for people to listen to it. And again, I'm going to share the link with you.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on, it's simply Yeva ESL on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yes. Facebook. I'm everywhere. Simply Yeva. I think on LinkedIn, the only one is when I have my actual name, Ieva Grauslys.
Okay. That's cool.
So I'm all across the socials, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
No, thank you. We really appreciate you coming on the show. And like I said, we'll put all of your contact information in the show notes. And this doesn't need to be the last time we have a conversation. So whenever you have anything new come up, by all means, reach out and we'll definitely have you on the show again. Open invitation. We appreciate you and we wish you all the best.